I was told grow a beard, make you look slimmer.
A beard? What are you eating?
It's called friselle.
Bagel.
No, not a bagel.
Well, as we kind of wrap up, this is our start of 2025 season. Dominic's having lunch. And our new co-host, also Michael Beck, is in Las Vegas right now at the CES. Did you tell me what CES stands for, Dominic? Did you prep for
Consumer
that?
Electronics Show. Yeah, pretty big deal. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Have you ever went?
Mm-mm.
I think you'd freak out. Is that that's the thing, when you're a server, you never talk to your customers when they have a full mouth of food.
Mm.
So he's having a little bit I'm just gonna send Michael a message here. But anyways, to everyone that's gonna be watching us tonight, listening to us on Spotify, Spotify, Google.
Maybe we should start a Shopify store.
Well, we have started Swag Socks.
Right.
I have that.
But that's on Shopify, right?
I'm actually working on that tomorrow with one of my coachees. Hopefully.
Nice.
E-commerce stores are a little tricky nowadays. You know that.
Well, I think Shopify made it easy, Good Canadian company, right?
Is that a Canadian company?
Shopify's from Ottawa. Yep.
Really?
And massive worldwide. Shopify.
Yeah. Well, how much are they worth? How many billions? Should know this.
Billions.
Should know this.
Billions.
Billions?
Oh, yeah.
20 billion?
Maybe more.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
No way. I can look up.
Is Shopify worth? Yeah.
93 billion.
Did you find it already?
Yeah.
Wow.
93.16 billion USD.
Is that like 130 Canadian?
It's about 130 Canadian. Give or take a few pennies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
93 billion.
Oh, wait a sec. No. 146 billion.
Oh, 140. Did you got the Canadian version?
I saw Yahoo Finance. I'm not sure what you're looking at.
I'm on Google.
And then I got another one of 138 billion. So it's more than 96 billion.
So there's a lot of money in that e-commerce thing, eh?
Yeah, well, I think what all they did, kudos to them, is back to what you just said. E-commerce is tricky. They made it easy.
Well, it's still it's not that easy, even using Shopify, right? Like you got to do a little bit of homework. Now, the best thing I say to people, and I've been doing this with the ones that I run, because there's WooCommerce, there is Shopify. I use WooCommerce, I think it is, and also Stripe. There's all these different sites out there that you can use. I primarily been using because you use these sites with your website. So you have your e-commerce model on your website. Like, you should have one with the amount of traffic you do, Dom.
Yeah. Well, we use WooCommerce.
You use WooCommerce? But you should have a swag store. You should sell stuff online.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Let's talk about you. Not for me all the time. It's about you.
I didn't say nothing about you, Jay. I'm just saying about me.
Well, you could sell stuff to help people. Right?
We sell a few things. We sell a thermometer. When we do stuff like that, we like to make sure we can bring good value, because that's kind of that's our thing, right? We have a thermometer on there for, I think it's $21 with shipping. It's waterproof. It's a good, it's NSF approved thermometer.
Opportunity.
Yeah. So
I do. You should sell books.
Yeah, we should.
You could.
That's
all value.
We're going to do some temp monitoring stuff with one of the guests we've had.
Look at this fine gentleman.
There he is.
So this fine gentleman, can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
We can.
Okay, so this fine gentleman has a stack of every bit of equipment possible. And despite that, and despite being at CS, despite being a tech geek, I am calling in on my phone. Woo! Because all this shit didn't work.
Well, isn't that awesome?
But I am scrappy, and I'll never say die. And right over here is the amazing Las Vegas Sphere.
Okay,
you guys see that?
We can see it. Very cool.
Can you see it?
And what's the ring there?
Oh, there it is, dude.
Yeah, that's the ring. That's the sphere. Try not to give you a reflection.
We're getting a reflection, but to the left of the sphere is the what do they call that thing? Yeah,
it's their Vegas version of the London Eye.
Right? The London Eye. There you go.
Yeah, same thing that they got over that way. Hopefully, that's pointing at it. But I'm not.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, dude.
Well, is the sphere smaller than the eye? Because I thought the sphere was massive.
It's equally big. It's just a little bit lower.
Oh, it's lower. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just lower. Like, and I wish I could show you. Let me see if I can flip the camera just to give you a look real fast. Hold on a second.
You look like you rent small.
What's that?
How big's that room?
It's a big ass room. So this isn't a room. So we Airbnb when we go on the road because it's cheaper and you get more out of it. So I got a nice master bedroom. I get a room with a hot tub. Yeah, why not? We're talking mobile, boots on the ground. Wasn't this what we're talking about? Man in the
I was gonna say you and Dominic have that same taste of big rooms.
Yeah, but this whole place has big rooms. Like, and so if you're traveling with a group, right? And we did this. We went to we actually stayed at the event hotels. We'd be paying better part of $350 a room night for each person, which would be a little over $1,200 a night. We pay $150 a night for everybody.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's money.
And we get it, and we get to hang out as a team. We all have doors that close if we don't want to spend time together, and we get tired of the whole together thing. So it works, and then we got common place to have breakfast and plan for the day and hit it hard. Nice. Yeah. Hey boys.
Well,
sorry, I come in hot. I was riddled with anxiety. I'm like, I'm never late. I hate this fact. I'm yelling at my equipment.
It's not the first. It's usually Dominic was having a sandwich and having lunch when we started, so don't worry.
See, Dominic's supposed to get up and make sandwiches in the middle of the show.
He did. He had one.
Yeah, not tonight. I'm trying. I'm off. Well, I'm supposed to be off for bread.
You're supposed to be off for bread, and you're not.
Are you ketoing?
Not really. Just sort of like a modified. All right,
I'll stop moving now for the sake of the audience. I realized my feet were resting on the keyboard of my laptop. I had to adjust, so I'm now not movable for the next 60 minutes.
So welcome to our first show tonight. Wow. I think this might be one of the most bizarre starts I've ever had, which I do love. I do love differences. And
how appropriate.
And it is appropriate, right? The three of us together. You're in Vegas, Thomas in Calgary, I'm in Edmonton. And, we're going to talk a little bit about CES. And I have never been there. Like, I want to talk to you, Mr. Beck, a little bit about what you're going to see. Like, how excited. Did you get to go there anything today? Did you see anything?
The guys are over there today. Joe and Chad are over there, and so they picked up some footage. They spent some time with some cuddly robots that are friendly pets replacements. Cuddly robots, yes, they're furry robots. A friend of mine, Angela Diffley, she's actually in the industry. She just made a move over to Coca-Cola, and she was telling. She's here for the show, and she's telling me how excited she is about these little clamp-on. Remember Monchi cheese when we were kids, like those little things, those little grabby deals, right? Yeah. Well, they have those, but as robots that express sentiment and watch you. So, like a kid could put it on their backpack, or a girl could put it on their purse, and this little thing just kind of attends to them while they're walking around. And it's soft and fuzzy, and it's a little AI companion.
Is it going to attack us in the future? Is it going to be like?
Oh, stop with your damn.
Dominic, I'm right there with you, man. You know, James Cameron made Terminator for a reason. He saw it coming, brother.
Steven Spielberg, Mogwai.
What? It was
right. Then you feed it after midnight and it goes crazy.
Yeah,
it's not gonna go happen.
Now, actually, his name was Gizmo, right? The bad guy's name was Stripe. But since you're probably in the Easter eggs, I can tell Dominic there's an Easter egg that nobody probably has recognized in the movie Gremlins. At the very beginning of the movie, at the very beginning of the movie, the father, Hoyt Axton, is on the phone talking to his son. He's in Shanghai or something at a trade show. In the background, the left quadrant is actually the time machine from the movie The Time Machine. And some guys are in a booth messing around with it. And so Hoyt Axton's on the phone. It goes to the family over in America, pans back to the Hoyt Axton again. The time machine's gone. There's a big puff of smoke and everybody's scratching their heads. And it actually time traveled in the corner that nobody noticed when they made that movie.
I did not notice that.
Useless information brought to you by Michael Beck.
Well, Jay's still trying to figure out what the movie is. He's too young
for No. I seen it.
He's a little green behind the ears.
I am in the same. Well, maybe not your league, dumb on the age, but I'm in there.
What I want to know is, one more thing, because Michael probably knows. Was the car, the Gremlin, already out as a vehicle when that?
Oh, fuck!
No. AMC.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it had to be because that was the 70s.
Yeah, but Gremlin was the affectation that came from World War II. The little guys were ripping apart planes.
Right.
When a plane would fall apart, they'd say it was a gremlin that did it. It wasn't the people that built it. It was the gremlins.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Dominic will remember the Bugs Bunny cartoon, the gremlin tearing the plane apart as it's flying, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dominic will remember.
Well,
I don't know. He takes himself out and made himself much younger than all of us all of a sudden, Dom. Like now Jay's like the youngster.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I'm the young one. No, I remember all those, like, because I'm also from Saskatchewan, which that's all we had for TV on Saturdays was the Bugs Bunny show. Yeah. Anyways, so I want to talk a little bit about that. But gentlemen, I have a new intro for us.
Oh,
it's only 22 seconds now for our new show that we're glad to have everyone that's going to be joining us. I had people messaging me earlier saying that, unfortunately I can't make the whole show, but I'm going to make the show. These kind of things. So people are going to be listening to us on LinkedIn. Also, a reminder that we are live also on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube as well right now. And the next show, which is on Thursday, will also be live on Instagram and TikTok. I just have to update so here's what I did, guys. And I'm sorry to say this, like back to what Michael's saying around the tech thing. I cleared my cache the other day, killed all my passwords. Wow. Yeah. So I got to remember all of them. So I hate that.
Password manager.
Yeah, I know.
Like a real one. Yeah.
I know. It's not little.
All right. Well, how about our new Roland? I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to rock out with some,
No, I toned it down a little. I kept it lame.
You went CNN, didn't you?
Well, this is CNN, the Canadian News Network.
No, Dom always gave me crap because in the old one, it used to have like little messages throughout. I took all those out.
No, I never gave you crap for that. I like that, actually. I did like that.
Because it was my square footage of my studio.
Yeah, 100 square feet. No, 100 square foot studio.
100 square foot studio. I loved it. All right, so gentlemen, here we go. We're going to come back, talk a little bit about CES. Michael, did you find out where you're going to eat? We talked about that the other day.
I ordered in. I got Wingstop because I couldn't leave the room. So I plowed through about 25 wings. I got 15 left to go, but I've got ambition and grit.
That's and Dom's eating bread, and he should.
Surely.
We should be good to go. I'm drinking a coffee.
Nice.
Oh, I wish I had coffee.
Oh, I got to talk about these mints I got too. We'll be right back.
One down.
Did you blink? What do you mean? Don't give me. It's not. We're not a TV show. It's not the 80s.
You want honest feedback on live air? Do you want honest feedback?
I can take it.
I don't think you should do it.
This is the most generic thing I've ever seen, dude. You are so much more than that.
No, I just wanted something.
That was just pure stock footage, man. You got all kinds of cool guests that were on.
I like the old
one.
I think we got to go back to the old one, Jay.
You want to try? I can go back to the old one, but Michael's name's not on there. We gotta.
Yeah, but just put some.
Why
don't we co-create one? Why don't we all just make a new one? You have ADHD. You can rip through it in 5 hours. Hyper focus to the rescue.
When you adjust the show that we're doing now, and there's 3 of us, which is very interesting. I was like trying to take, when do you guys remember when it was Three's a Company and then they did Two's a Company?
Yeah.
That was called Three's Company.
Yeah.
But wasn't it Two's a Company?
No, Jack got married and moved out with his girl, right?
What was it called?
It was called Two's a Crowd or something, wasn't it? It was like it wasn't Three's Company anymore. It's like Two's a Crowd, I think. Yeah, I think is what it was.
I was doing the same thing.
Yeah. Were you Roper people or were you Furley people is my question.
Oh man.
Furley.
You like Furley?
I liked Furley. Don Knotts, I think. Roper was cool. The Ropers were cool.
I always liked it when Roper talked some really heavy crap about Helen. They looked at the camera. And he knew he got her real good.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, Norman Fell rocked that. He really did.
That was awesome. So anyways, that's what I was doing. I was doing a short version, really quick, dirty, because a lot of the times people will leave us because we have a minute intro.
Jay, you're right on that. I think the intro was too long, but this one is a little flat compared to what the other one was.
A little flat. Is it the music?
Might be the music. And
welcome to Tell It Like It Is channel.
This is Jay's feedback moment. Yes. Anyways, no, I'm big enough. I've done enough feedback in my life. Dominic gave me enough yesterday.
1 whole year's worth in one day. AJ.
The best part about last night, Beck, is that we were talking last night. We were both giving each other shit on the same topic, but giving each other like I was giving him shit and he was giving me shit.
Okay.
We're like, it's the same thing. We're giving each other the same shit. Anyways, have you guys ever tried the Neuro mints?
No, I've never had those mints, Jay.
Is this something that a spouse gets excited about after you take them?
No.
Oh. I don't know what these mints do. What are these mints? Why are they so special?
So as we're professional podcasters and Joe Rogan's a professional, like the godfather of podcasting, he has Neuro gum. I got Neuro mints, not mints. And they're caffeine and they help you think
Jay,
clearer.
Did you say Nero or Nero?
Nero.
Are you trying to say neuro?
No, Nero.
So the Emperor of Rome.
From Rome, like Nero
Neuro. Nero.
That's neuro.
Nero.
Is it Nero?
Like it helps you be smarter, right? And think.
I think we all need to take them and see what happens. Let's go. Well, he's not telling us high grade MDMA. And
Beck, I'm gonna have to get your address so I can email you stuff, and mail you stuff. But anyways, I got these gums or these mints, and you're not supposed to have more than 10 a day. I don't know. I was humming around 2:00 this morning. Still, I think you're not supposed to have more than 10 a day. I kept eating them yesterday, and it was a bad idea. But anyways, you should try these out. What?
Are they delicious? What motivated you to eat so many?
Because I was having a down day, so I didn't really have energy. It almost made the world slow down. That's how much caffeine I think is in them. But anyways,
I don't think you should have any of them, Jay. Don't stop doing them.
You say that all the time. Yeah. But it says on the package instead of energy drinks. But you usually don't do them with a coffee.
What is it? All caffeine? There's like guarana, taurine, Wong. Like what's
there is L-taurine. There's the L-taurine.
That is derived from bull glands.
Bull glands?
Well, yeah.
I won't say the other part on the air. It's nasty.
Well, we have no rules around that.
Oh.
Yeah, we did that. We used to do. What was the thing we used to do, Tom? Disclaimer.
A disclaimer, yeah.
We used to have to do a disclaimer.
Why do you might cuss during the show? Or say
well, they're not our opinions either.
Oh,
what you hear may not be real, even.
Our opinions and thoughts and ideas are not real.
Got it. So we're rocking 20 minutes into this. What are we talking about tonight?
Oh, well, we're talking about CES. So
yeah,
you know what?
I want to quickly ask Michael about a thing about Vegas. What's the vibe down there? I seen a video this morning about Vegas being very quiet from a tourist perspective at the casinos.
You wouldn't know it. I mean,
CES, but
it's just this pure volume of people coming from the airport to downtown. I've never seen the shuttle trains inside of McCarran that busy, just packed shoulder to shoulder.
Okay.
So I really did notice it, but I mean, I think you're talking about, the bomb that went off over Trump. I've
no, not even that.
About it. Oh, okay. It's really cool here.
Yeah, it is. And
really
CES attracts a lot of people, correct?
Should be about 120,000 people coming to the show. It's twice the size of the NRA or 3 times I've heard. Don't take my word for it. That's my disclaimer. I'm not. I don't have attendee numbers yet, but I heard it's twice as big as NRA at least. It takes up the entire convention center, the Venetian, and a number of other properties throughout here that have convention space. It's so big. It's bigger than the Las Vegas Convention Center. Yeah,
that's wild.
How long has it been running for?
Well, I should have done some research before I got on this show. I didn't know it is. No idea. And normally I'd be Johnny on the spot with the Goog. But I'm not equipped today.
I'm going to say it's 20 plus years, Jay.
No way.
I bet it's longer.
Probably
longer. It's longer?
Yeah.
I bet it's longer. I mean, it's not like we're talking about a gaming convention. This is an electronics convention. Consumer electronics is probably, it could. Okay, let's make some guesses and then we'll look it up and verify. I'm going to say since maybe the 1960s.
Wow.
Fuck, you're right.
Did you look it up?
1967.
Yeah, so they started doing shows on television sets and stuff like that. The advent of TV made people interested in this kind of thing.
50 something years.
57 years ago. 138,000 people attending last year.
Yeah,
that's a size. That's big. That's a city size here in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so it's impressive.
Electronics of all things, right? It's not just. It's like there's cooking gadgets. There's furry little pets, as you said.
So it's every TV, it's every piece of digital, anything that as far as will be a display, a robot, service items, anything that would go in your home, or even most businesses too that you're going to see, because it's all things that display or are electronics, right? Could be temperature probes, thermometers, IoT devices. There's all kinds of different things.
So I got some trivia for you here, gentlemen. Then, okay, so let's go through 1970. What was revealed in 1970 that we don't use anymore today?
The
Rand McNally map.
VCR.
Oh,
VCR. Okay.
Was that the beta?
No, it was the VCR and
right, but was that a VHS or a Betamax? Both are VCRs.
I think it would have been Betamax first.
Do you think Beta came first?
It did.
How much did they cost?
About $800.
$1,200. $2,500.
So the first ever Philips unveiled the first ever home VCR, the N1500 video cassette recorder. Unit that point, VCRs cost upwards of $50,000. Used mainly by TV stations.
Woo! Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I mean, remember when flat screen TVs came out? The first ones we have in our houses now, those were 30, 40 grand a pop if you had a flat screen that was relatively big.
I worked for Costco in the mid 90s, and we had a store opening, and every store opening they'd bring in, some big flashy item.
Yeah.
And the flashy item at the one I was at an opening at in Sudbury was a plasma TV. That was the new thing.
I remember plasma. Yeah. That was
$50,000, and they They sold 6 of them the opening day. Six plasma TVs.
So
because they would have been 70,000 or 60,000 everywhere else, right?
This is the reason my wife is deathly afraid of me going to Vegas. She's not afraid of me gambling. She knows I'm miserly and don't spend my money on gambling, but she does know I'm an early adopter.
Yeah, well,
and this is very dangerous ground for me to be on, because on the last day they blow out all the stuff they don't want to bring home.
Really
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, you bring cash, you can bring home some stuff.
Is there any word out there of what the hot item is this year besides the furry pets?
I'm gonna find out. I think it's all gonna be in some way, shape, or form tied to machines and robotics, or machines and AI. I'm sorry, right? That there's
any vehicles like this. I think the car companies have been to these shows as well, right?
Yeah, there's a whole at one other hotel. It's all about cars, and it's all the OEM stuff that they're putting into these cars, the new technologies that they'll be able to deploy, whether it's self-driving stuff. It's more, I mean, that's tip of iceberg thing. So what they're talking about, like if you're talking about being able to talk to your car now, it's a whole different experience, right? You can actually have a collaborative assistant in your car that you can ideate with that actually pumps it all back. We can already do this kind of now with ChatGPT on our phones and pumping through Apple iTunes, or what is it? The car version. Apple CarPlay, right?
Mm-hmm. I do that.
Yeah.
I do that today. Yeah, I work with that on that. I find it, it's really interesting. Just before we shift here and talk more about today. 1977. What was released in 1977 at this event?
1977. The GI Joe Kung Fu Grip.
The Atari.
Oh, the very first one.
Yeah. Now that we had our young refresher life come back, the Nintendo NES was 1985. Wow. It used to be in Chicago. Did you know that?
When was Pong?
Pong would have been 60s, 70s.
70s, yeah. I would say 70s.
Yeah. But did you know that this event was in Chicago at the McCormick Center?
Really?
Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah.
And the NRA kicked him out.
When the NRA kicked him out, exactly. Well, I think what's great about this, and obviously we're going to pull it back to our industry that we're so proud to do a podcast for, is what are some of the, is there anything that you have heard, Michael, on what you're going to see in relationship to our industry?
Well, there's a couple of folks out here that we know. There's a gentleman named Yarrow. He has a company called PickPad, which is a solution that is for when the drivers are coming up to pick up products and know when it was picked up on time. It actually registers when it's taken off the counter. And actually, we're going to go see them tomorrow, learn a bit more about what he's putting together there. But no, I mean, a lot of this stuff's a mystery because this is outside of the restaurant sphere almost. This isn't a traditional restaurant show. So most of the restaurant people aren't here at all.
But I think that gives you kind of a leg up though, right?
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons I go here is so I can look at, Chad and I can look at, new technologies that are coming out and see if we want to partner with anybody there to help them get off the ground. So this is prime fishing for us if we're talking in anglers terms.
Cool.
It's brilliant, man. Hey.
Yeah.
I've never been accused of that, but I'll take
it.
Well, I have to say, and Mr. Beck, I don't know if you got the invite.
Well, Michael, not to rain in your parade. Jay does say that about most of our guests. Just
don't ruin it for him. We're not even playing the text word today. On Michael. We're not going to play the.
I didn't get my show sheet.
Harry Balls.
Kitchen and electronics, even for home kitchens, but a lot of that stuff comes to commercial kitchens in a big way, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you guys get this. The restaurants are typically laggards on adoption of new solutions and toys. They want rock steady, solid, and cheap, right? And that the only way you get cheap is if something's been around a while, like we were talking about the TVs. They're expensive first. They got to develop them and make them. They're expensive once they've paid off those things that they've developed, and they can start selling them for cheaper, right? And once the restaurants figure out that it's reliable and they can use it, then it starts making it over there. It's like thinking about Windows 98. It stayed out there forever because it was stable. You didn't have to risk anything. You'd have to pry it out of there because everything else was a risk.
Yeah.
So Yeah, early adoption isn't typically a restaurant thing. They want to make sure it's stable before they could, especially big chains. They have to be able to know that they can count on it across the brand, because failure is literally not an option.
It sometimes happens in the food space too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it definitely happens in the food space, right? I've heard other people that, I've had some people in the show in the past where they kind of wish that they would have went retail before food service, or some went food service then retail. And I don't know even the right answer nowadays. Everything's so upside down. Dominic?
Yeah, Jay, I think that the challenge is, you've said it, and you're talking with the people you're coaching, is they have to do all of it now. The restaurants.
Oh God, you got to be everywhere.
They can't just be their restaurant anymore. They have to have swag. They have to have some sort of retail presence, or they got to take some of their signature items and sell them to the consumer. If they can get into retail, that's a big plus, because they're famous for it, and that helps with their brand recognition and all those things. Just relying on the restaurant is harder. It's harder and harder. The real estate costs more, or our input costs are higher. All your expenses are higher. Every effing government fee is higher, right? Like you're just faced with all these challenges. So if you're not looking at those other sources of revenue, and I think now the future says we have to go to electronics and robotics and automation as much as we can, because if we don't, the restaurant down the road that adopts that and does it well, they're going to have lower expenses.
Well, look at the advent and the rise of catering too, right?
Yeah.
Like anything to drive business beyond the four walls is a golden opportunity. And the fabric stuffer that used to sit outside, or the guy tossing the sign, they're being replaced now by somebody who knows a little bit about social and using their phones instead. They're going a different way.
Yeah.
I was teaching someone this afternoon about newsletters as well, and just looking at these different verticals to get your branding out there. It is mind-blowing the amount of different things that you have to be a part of now, of controlling your brand. And it takes a lot of work. It does. Do you guys have a newsletter, Michael?
Not yet.
You guys should have one. I'll put that on the list.
I know. Let me get 5 of me and I'll get right on it.
I'm gonna give you a hand on that. I'm just thinking of that because I'm learning about a new model using Beehive right now. And
hey, by the way, here's something I think that the listeners would be really interested in, because they're all kind of trying to figure this stuff out, or at least what I believe the audience is, right? And if it's restaurateurs, they're trying to understand, well, if I make a piece of content, how do I get it out in the world beyond the one channel I know about? How do I automate that? What are the tools people are using, right? And I bet they really value some time to understand what you use and how you do this and how you pull this off. And with limited resources, the amount of stuff you put out is absolutely amazing, right?
It's interesting because it goes back
he
to
had a little red can there. I don't know if you saw that little red can that he was showing us.
Is that the Red Bull? Yes. It's the motivation in a pellet.
My heartbeat is just one symbol. It's just
he is now a jackrabbit.
It doesn't go do. It just goes. No, I think when you look at the automation and different things that I use right now, but I also am looking at. First of all, I think the big thing when you look at the restaurant industry and you look at marketing, and Michael, you hit it really big, is how do you get down? And we've talked about this before. Is into the grass level. Like you have to get into that industry. If you're having products, electronic products or program products or food or whatever it is, you have to get to the end operator. And today, by just having one channel or relying on social, which is still a good channel because typically it's free, or you're running Google ads or whatever the case is, right? Is that I think there's opportunity there, but you have to be everywhere.
100%. But I mean,
what are you laughing at?
So what Dominic saw that you didn't is our camera guy was in here filming me. I just filmed him while he was filming us.
Oh, I wasn't looking. I was looking up my other camera.
Yeah. Okay.
But I agree. I mean, I think, even as we talk about the show, and I've been thinking about it, like, what makes people watch and what makes people tune in. They care about a couple things. They want to be entertained and they want to learn something, right? And God,
edutained.
Edutain. Yes, they want to be edutained. And I think, you hold the secrets to some stuff. Like we're all researching this thing frantically. How do we get it out there? How do we make enough of it? How do we do it right? And I know there's a lot of coaches, but
I guess the biggest thing that I've always done, and I take this from a lot of people that are creating amazing content, I look at it and I want to do the opposite. That's why our show's not a podcast.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right. And for other reasons.
All right, I pulled you down a rabbit hole. I because we're talking about tech, and I think there is a mystery around how people pull this together and use technology to multiply themselves, right?
It does.
Multiply.
Well, when you're a restaurant, like I think it was Heather Cox posted today, chefs and restaurant owners don't have time to post on social. So what do you do? I agree with her.
I'm for enlist your staff, because a lot of them, they want to do it. They need a challenge. There's lots of resources, I think, that you can tap into inside your restaurant, at least to generate the content. Now, the posting part, to Michael's comment, that automation is here already. The regeneration of it, or taking that content you've created and having somebody create more content, that cost keeps coming down.
Yep,
it does.
And the quality of those services is going up. And just back to the TVs, like everything else, there is specialized services that look after the restaurant, the food service industry. They're good at it. They can turn out good content. It's not your $50,000 agency that you used to have to employ that could only do, your city or your province or wherever it was. Those services are hundreds of dollars and not thousands like they used to be. So back to Jay, we've talked about this many times. Restaurants, they're not at the CES show, but maybe they would gain something from going. They don't go to trade shows, but they would definitely gain some from going to an industry trade show. They would gain something. They're stuck. I think a lot, because they've got no time, they're stuck in the grind of it, and just kind of doing the same thing. And there's, like myself, I'm stuck to 20 years.
Well, no,
but the costs, I know from my own research, the costs are not what they used to be. The services are not what they used to be.
I agree with you.
It's not what it used to be. So if we step out of our sort of, take our blinders off for a few minutes and go out and look, there's tons. There's tons of products available. There's tons of services available. There's tons of, that makes it hard though too, because now it's crowded on who's offering stuff, right?
Like when you're at the National Restaurant Association show, which we will be there this.
Yep. This May. He froze.
He froze.
But it's May. It's in Chicago. Well, you'll be there.
I love that show. My feet hate that show, but I love that show. The first year I went, my arches fell. The second year I went, they fell again. And there's this Village Roadshow guy that had the worst hair in the world, but he sold orthotics, and he had a line out the door, and it was all vendors because your feet blow up on that, And then the third year I went, I tried to bring foot massagers as my hook for the booth, and I had everybody come in and just sit down to get the rest of their feet on it.
Nice.
So
Jay, you're frozen, man.
Must be that tundra.
How long does CS run, Michael?
It goes till Friday. Yeah, it goes till Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we kick off like around noonish on Friday, or start heading home then. But tomorrow's gonna be power. Thursday will be power. And they say even if you go all out, you're not going to see everything. And I'm inclined to agree. Plus, you got to stop and have good conversations with folks too.
And to what our show is about on the food service side and the hospitality side, lots to eat. Lots of places, lots of different cool places to eat at in Vegas. Have you hit any place yet? Have you guys?
No, not today. I mean, today we just got in.
Oh, okay.
And I literally just ordered Wingstop because I wanted to get ready for this and see if I could get my equipment that didn't want to cooperate. But yeah, we'll probably have something really good, and we're gonna see if we can sneak in a show at the Sphere because that's just such a really cool experience. The tech over there is absolutely amazing. I mean, amazing.
Have you been there already once?
I've been 3 times. I've watched the same movie there 3 times.
Which movie have you seen there?
It's called Postcard Planet Earth, and it's just without ruining it, it's basically an Adam and Eve story. It's a space pod going through the universe. It lands on a foreign planet, and then when these people wake up, it tells them the story of this place they came from,
Oh, cool.
Earth, and all these things because they don't remember. They've been in hypersleep for so long, so they're showing just like the coolest stuff that our planet, like you would ever want to remember about our planet, the savannas and elephants and
Very cool.
sunsets and birds. But it's actually extremely moving. I think I came to tears on 2 different occasions watching that thing. It's just really.
Is it like an IMAX? Well, I've never been there, so I'm assuming it's kind of like.
Okay, so you take an IMAX and you call a little bitch and you throw it away because it didn't even come close. You could stitch together 7 IMAX screens and not even come close to what's there in size. And it's 16K. It's so 16K. Big in there. Yes.
Can you tell the difference between 8K and 16K? Like
I have an 8K at home, and I only can watch that on YouTube because nothing else publishes in it.
Right.
But it feels smooth on the eyes. You know, it's
cool.
there's a certain, nice, but the place is so big it has weather stations inside.
It's wild. It's wild.
And I told Jay about this the last time we got together, but this is worth mentioning since it's in line with CES and technology. So the feature when you go to the Sphere is when you go in the lobby, if you run up to your seat right away, you're making a mistake and you sit there for an hour doing nothing. Because the first hour is meant to interact with all the tech exhibits they have on the way in, 3D holographic displays, and then they have this test of their sound. And the sound is there's 5 light bars on the floor. And it's just literally beams of light. And they're maybe 20 feet long and maybe 3.5 feet wide. And think like piano keys lined up. And overall, you're going to hear an orchestra of music playing. A combination of different instruments. But where Jay's standing in the beam of light and not separated by me is he hears trumpets. And I'm standing right next to him. I hear violins. And the guy next to me is saxophones. And if we walk, it'll follow. That noise is just that beam of light where I hear it. And then the next version of that was in different languages. So German, Chinese, French, Spanish. And you would hear the different language wherever you stood, but nothing separated you spatially from the other people that are hearing something else.
What do they do for food in there?
Oh, they got all kinds of stuff. They got beer and it's pretty well decked out. I mean, this is a $1 billion facility. They handle it well. And then when you come in, there's 5 or 6 AI greeters. In fact, you have to sign a waiver when you come in because they recognized you and they will remember you.
Oh, wow.
Right? And they also have, sentiment analysis. Are you happy? Are you sad when you're walking around? Do you have a fever or temperature? It detects other things about you. But then says, hey, you in the lake, and it'll just pick somebody out of the audience that's talking about, hey, you in the Laker hat, how's your team doing? And literally,
cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
You're like, hey, Tom, I know I've seen you on a podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, gentlemen, my computer thought it would enjoy the moment tonight and shut down. So
that's okay. It's the premiere. This is what happens.
Well, it happens. This is the thing. This is why we are not a podcast, because you wouldn't do that on a podcast.
Like rain on your wedding day.
Anyways, so see, how long does it go till?
We talked about this while you're gone, but until Friday.
Till Friday?
Yes.
So we're gonna stream you in with Rebecca in Hawaii on Thursday.
If I can, I can't promise. I'll see because I got to see where I'm at.
Okay.
I might just be a guest appearance, pop in and talk crazy from a booth.
That's fine.
No worries.
Yeah. So
it's fun. You've met Rebecca before, haven't you? From the National Restaurant Association, Surf Success.
No, I've not.
No, she's a rock star. So she's on Thursday night. But I'm pumped to talk about the shows that we're going to be doing this year and all the different things that we're going to be interviewing. I got a ton of guests lined up and planned. I got to get that all lined up for you guys, and it's going to be a blast this year. So I just want to thank both of you and the guests, and also the amount of people that listen to our shows. I do hear that. Even today, I heard that from someone that I work with in different restaurants I get to work with every day. Said that, yeah, I listen to your stuff. So, which is crazy. I find it crazy still, but this is our 5th year. We're coming up to 5 years, Dom, doing this. And I've met a lot of people over the years and just grateful for the opportunity. So
how do you find people like to list
How do I find people?
Yeah, how do you? Who's your booking agent?
I don't use see that's really a good point because I got about 3, I think it is, that email me all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't like using them because
a lot of people reach out directly after they've seen and say, hey, they'd like to come on, which is that I think that's cool.
It happens. Yeah,
well, sometimes happens. Booking agents are internal. You just say, hey, I need to scope out and find folks too.
It's a really good point because when I look at it, I have to look at someone that's one of the big things that we've always believed in is, and I think that'll never change, is that looking at guests that bring something that's valuable to the industry. And that is also giving back or doing something good in a sense to the industry. And I think majority, we've been hitting a home run with that for the last 5 years, is just bringing that person or that company to the show. Now, I'm typically, got my finger on the pulse and I'm looking at what these people are, and the amount of people that do reach out is actually quite a bit. But I am looking for those stars or those companies that are like, you know what, this is kind of a cool thing, what they're doing. I really love also talking with chefs and restaurant people, restaurant owners. We've had many on. I've interviewed, hundreds and hundreds of them. And it's mind-blowing how amazing it is to hear their stories and the struggles and the challenges and what they're working on. I find those to be some of my favorite. And I've had celebrities on and we've had crazy guests on and everything in between, which is awesome. But I just find those folks that are out there, finished a shift. We've had those people on, Dom, or about to go into a shift or whatever the case is. I always find those people very interesting to talk to, and I enjoy them. But yeah, it's really a mixed bag. Sometimes you get people, messaging you. I just don't like using the companies because but they're just doing a blanket email. That's I find, right? Like everyone's getting the same guy, so they're doing the loops, which is I get it. I just want to be different in a sense, and because we don't do a podcast.
I'd stalk people that are putting out a book. I think, like if I was to,
yeah. We've had a lot of book releases. I don't think we've ever had a TV show release yet, right? But I got to, we've had there's new openings. We've had that. I think that's pretty cool. Restaurants that are growing. I've had a lot of people, put it that way. I've had a lot of people. I've had people pass away that were on the show, and we had to do memorial shows.
Yeah, you haven't had them pass away on the show, but people that have been on the show pass away.
Yeah, I've had
two. Oh, I thought you said somebody died on the show.
Well, yeah, that's what it sounded like. That was the immediate.
Did that kind of sound like that? Is this a feedback moment, gentlemen? Is that
it's just like nobody's gonna want to come on. All of a sudden, you dress the guys up, Jay.
So I just got handed this off camera. It's a world first. It's the reveal of our new Tank GPM gear. Yeah,
that's a good hat.
You got official. A good logo, dude. You got a good logo. Yeah. I like your signatures too.
Yeah, it turned out nice.
Yeah. They're very nice.
So we are now in business.
I like that hat.
Yeah. Well, there's one here for you. I'll send one up. Or two up. One for Dami, one for you.
I got another question. Like, okay, so you're gonna do the show. When you go to these events, do you plan a dinner where you're gonna go to an iconic spot in the city with your team?
Yeah, we're gonna find something nice. I mean, usually like there's a couple, like Nobu Sushi is fantastic out here. Like there's just like some of the top chefs in the world are they set up shop here. Giada has a spot here. Bobby Flay has a spot here. You can pick. There's no shortage of deliciousness in Vegas. Like just beyond. There's a place I like to go though, Beauty in Essex. It's I think it's at the Cosmo. And it's a speakeasy restaurant. So when you go in, it looks like a pawn shop. But their food is phenomenal. Like you go through the kind of the shtick and they open it up and it turns into this beautiful restaurant inside, but you have to go through a pawn shop to get to it.
Nice. No way.
Yeah, it's fun.
We should do that here, Dom.
Well, there's a place here in Calgary, Luca, the restaurant, is attached to a kind of a speakeasy in the front, and you in the restaurant, well, even from the other way around, you go through in the restaurant, the walls are like a bookshelf, and you easy. So yeah, it's there's places that are starting to do that. I don't know if the food's the quality. The restaurant here is very good. Luca's good.
But anyways, well, gentlemen, I know Mr. Beck, you have to get back to Vegas, and it's probably, what time is it there? And earlier, it's like 7:30 almost.
I think it's almost 7:30.
Yeah. So
the guys just came back from some of the show stuff, and then we're probably going to do a little briefing on shot lists for tomorrow. Things we want to kind of do, that scavenger hunt of the content we want to pick up. I like to go into any event, and go, what's our plan? Like, not just go, but what are we trying to find? What are we trying to accomplish? Who do we want to meet with? If we're gonna do content, what do we want to get, and what's our like I said, scavenger hunt?
Well, we will be having those meetings because we are going to be at the National Restaurant Association show in May. And
what are we doing there?
What?
What are you gonna be doing there? Tell us.
I'm going to be knitting scarves.
Okay. Is that for all the people back in Saskatoon?
Yes, in Saskatoon.
I just love saying Saskatoon.
It says, you know what? I'm going to call you next week from Saskatoon because I'm going to be in Saskatoon.
I have a feeling it's because
exactly.
look like a Wolverine chewing on your ankle. All right.
Where I'm going, I will definitely call you. I have to go to Prince Albert on Tuesday.
Did you ever see Super Dave?
Yes.
Michael?
Yeah, Super Dave Osborne.
He makes reference to Saskatchewan often. Saskatchewan sealskin. Well, Super Dave doesn't, but the commentator did about Super Dave wearing Saskatchewan sealskin bindings.
Mean Gene was this announcer, I think it was.
Mean Gene was wrestling.
That was wrestling. But it feels like the same kind of guy, though, right? Like, Dark Boy, Super Dave Osborne, right?
Yeah, well, he was an 80s guy. So, anyways,
he was also Funkhauser on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's right. He's Canadian. I know that. Is he from Saskatchewan, Jay? Do you know?
God, I don't know. We don't know each other. Because I come from the same province, we don't know each other. Anyways, well, so first of all, so we are going to be podcasting at the National Restaurant Association show this May on the floor. We have a meeting, our first official meeting on what that looks like coming up. So I sent you an invite as well, Mr. Beck, for that, to join us at the end of the month on that planning with them. And I think it's going to be a blast. And Dominic's going to streak the show.
Awesome. We're streaking the quad.
Streaking.
Bring your green hat.
Yeah.
Bring your green blast. That's a Saskatchewan color, by the way. Just that is their color. It's green.
Quit it. Okay.
How does Michael know all this shit about Saskatchewan, Jay?
Yeah. He did his homework.
I'm undercover.
Yeah, we have
weird. I'm a plant from Quebecois.
7 shifts put Saskatchewan on the map in Saskatoon into our industry more and more. Being from Saskatoon. Anyways, well, Mr. Beck, you have a safe trip down there. Enjoy yourselves. We'll see if we can get you on the show on Thursday, as we're going to be streaming from Hawaii. Dominic, remember, I'm going to give you a reminder, Thursday, same time, this Thursday. And make sure you bring a sandwich. Yeah. And we're going to have a great show. And I'm sorry, John, my computer crapped up, but that's what happens on the first show usually.
Because you're on all those mins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll play the intro or the outro.
Play the old outro, but what you should do is take one of those mints and put it in the USB port of your computer. What happens?
We'll pep it up.
Pep it up.
Oh my! Pep it up. We'll pep it down. I don't feel very good. I'm starting to realize that I'm starting to shift.
Yeah.
It's probably because you're crashing from the mins.
No, it's the coffee.
It's not.
I gotta tell you. So I gotta tell
milligrams upon milligrams of caffeine you took in.
So I gotta tell you this just before you go. I think I invented something cool today. I want to share this with you guys.
Absolutely not.
I have to. It's so
I'm
good.
waiting. Okay.
So I'm working with a restaurant. So I coach 17, hopefully 18 by tomorrow, maybe 19 by Tuesday, locations every week.
Okay.
And the one we were working on, their breakfast, they're introducing this breakfast menu into like it's a burger, smash burger kind of style restaurant. Phenomenal products, beautiful restaurant. Everything's perfect. They're introducing breakfast. So, and he says, I want to get into coffee. And I said, you know what? I think I've got an idea. And we got comments. Is I don't know if that was you.
Oh, no, I was watching.
Someone's commenting on the red eye. We created protein coffee today.
Protein coffee.
Protein coffees.
You were talking about putting protein in your coffee the other day, and I just thought
I know, and I brought it now to a restaurant. So hot protein coffees, Dom.
Okay.
So you take your protein mix, 1 scoop. You remember the White Death stuff that you used to put in your coffee that makes it?
That's
We call
called
it
coffee
White
mate.
Coffee mate?
Yeah.
Highly flammable.
Also known as White Death in the culinary world. So anyways.
We're gonna get sued by Carnation tomorrow, Jay. Careful.
Yeah, if we do, we'll celebrate. You do a scoop of the put it in there. You hit it with your little thing that mixes it all up, and now you've got a high protein coffee drink.
What does it taste like?
Vanilla.
That's my question.
Vanilla. It doesn't. It tastes like whatever. Like it's well. First of all, it kind of tastes like hot chocolate. Let's be honest. It's got more of a hot chocolate, but it still has the coffee flavor.
So you can boost that up with an espresso shot, but does Starbucks?
You could.
That?
Starbucks doesn't have that. They did the oil. Remember the oil, olive oil? Did the oil shots. No one's done it.
Juice bars have been putting protein in drinks forever. So,
but no one's done it in coffee.
Yeah, I know.
Jay think he invented this, so that's good. Awesome, Jay.
Not bad, eh? So I introduced it into a restaurant today, and they're going to go with it. So they're going to introduce the first protein coffee in Calgary.
Cool.
And I have to contact Court. Remember Court?
Yeah.
Court's on the subscription. We're going to help them build a subscription coffee program, and I think that's going to be the first in Calgary as well.
Very cool.
Protein coffee, subscription coffee. Not bad.
And I think what you should do is get Michael to pick up one of those Tamagotchis that'll come and stir it for you as you're right.
Wow. We'll have protein.
That's the animation right there.
That was my invention today, gentlemen.
Very cool.
Protein coffees, right?
Oh,
not bad, eh?
Very
cool.
Cool.
I just think of it like because here's the thing that when you're paying for a $6 or $7 coffee, most of those people are very conscious of proteins and diets and everything else, right?
Yeah, but what they're also conscious of is the flavor of their coffee. And I'm going to push back
fine.
on that. I would never muddy my delicious mud with that.
But it doesn't change the flavor. Really, it doesn't. No, it's no different than adding.
Well, you just said it did, but that's okay because
it did, but it didn't. It didn't.
There's coffee flavored protein.
Yeah. If it's a delivery mechanism, it doesn't matter what it tastes like. If it's a flavor experience, then you're going to fight for it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. But there is coffee flavored protein powders. So
yep. The coffee you can get the cold ones, right? You can get the cold. I've had those. They're okay. But no one's really even went in with the hot coffee protein drink. That was invented today. What?
It's because it's butt ass cold outside, and you got to think of something. So necessity is the mother of coffee invention.
So
right, I hate this protein powder in my cold drink. It should be nice and something warm. Let's put it in coffee.
Well, you can bake with it.
Okay, that's it. I'm out. Like really, you don't need leavening agent. You can use your protein powder. Get rid of your baking powder and your baking soda, and just put in some nice glutamine.
That's the culinary part of our show. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway,
microgastronomy.
Gentlemen, it's been a blast. We'll see you Thursday.
Thanks,
to everyone else, please listen to us on all the channels out there, also on Google and everywhere else, and also on the Canada's Restaurant Guys website, where you can also see Dominic's Food Safe Check podcast.
Food Safe Check podcast.
The Safe Check podcast. Yeah, Jay will get it right yet, but that's okay.
Did I say?
Sounds like you need. Do you have a jingle, Dominic?
No, I'm gonna get one because then
you have a jingle.
Podcast. Yeah. Okay.
You have a jingle. It's pretty good.
Well, we have an
I have it right here.
Safe Check podcast.
Yeah, we could roll with that right now if you like.
No, roll with whatever makes you happy, Jay.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night. Everyone else have a great evening. Cheers.
See you guys. Thank you.